young boy dreamed of becoming a singer. He loved music. He loved performing. He imagined himself standing before audiences one day, but there was one problem. His own voice teacher told him he couldn't sing. The verdict wasn't gentle. The teacher said his voice sounded like wind whistling through a window. Imagine hearing that as a child. Imagine looking up to an expert, trusting their judgment, and being told that the thing you care about most is something you'll never be good at. For many people, that would have been the end of the story. Most children would have given up. Most would have quietly accepted the label and moved on. But this boy didn't. Years later, he became one of the most celebrated singers in the world. What changed? The answer wasn't a new teacher. It wasn't natural talent suddenly appearing. It was encouragement. More specifically, it was one person who refused to let criticism have the final word. His mother believed in him. She encouraged him when others doubted him. She praised his progress. She celebrated small improvements. Despite having very little money, she sacrificed to support his lessons and development. Every time criticism tried to convince him he couldn't do it, her encouragement reminded him that he could. Eventually, her voice became louder than the criticism, and that made all the difference. This reveals something important about human nature. Most people think criticism improves performance. In reality, criticism often destroys it, especially in the beginning. When someone is learning a new skill, they're already carrying uncertainty. They're already questioning themselves. They're already wondering whether they're capable. The smallest amount of progress feels fragile. A harsh criticism at that stage doesn't simply point out a weakness. It often confirms the person's deepest fear. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should quit. Maybe I was foolish to try. And once that belief takes root, effort begins to disappear. Potential doesn't usually die in a dramatic moment. More often, it fades quietly under repeated discouragement. Now compare that with encouragement. Imagine someone noticing even the smallest improvement. That was better. You're making progress. I can see growth. Keep going. Those words create something powerful. Hope. Hope leads to effort. Effort leads to improvement. Improvement creates confidence, and confidence fuels even more effort. The cycle begins moving upward instead of downward. That's why recognizing small victories matters so much. The smallest sign of progress can become the foundation for extraordinary achievement. Even animal trainers understand this principle. They reward tiny steps in the right direction because progress grows when it's recognized. Human beings aren't much different. We tend to move toward what is encouraged. History offers another remarkable example. There was a young boy who worked in a miserable warehouse filled with dirt, noise, and rats. He dreamed of becoming a writer. Secretly, he mailed stories to magazines and publishers. Again and again, he was rejected. Most people would have stopped trying. But eventually, one editor accepted a story. The payment was nothing. The recognition was everything. The editor told him he had talent. That single sentence moved the young writer to tears. Someone finally believed in him. Someone finally saw potential where others saw failure. That small moment changed the direction of his life. He went on to become one of the most beloved authors in history. One sentence, one encouraging voice, one reason to keep going. That's why praise is so powerful when it's sincere. Of course, there is an important difference between encouragement and empty flattery. People can tell when praise isn't genuine. A quick good job given without attention rarely means much, but specific praise does. The way you handled that situation was better than last time. Your confidence is improved. You've clearly been working on this. That kind of praise lands because it proves you were paying attention. It acknowledges real growth. It recognizes genuine effort. And those are the words people remember. Every person you meet is capable of more than they currently believe. Your words can strengthen that belief or weaken it. You never know which encouraging sentence will become the one someone remembers years later. The one that kept them going when they were ready to quit. The one that convinced them to try one more time. Criticism often causes people to retreat. Encouragement gives them a reason to advance. So notice improvement. Celebrate progress. Praise honestly and specifically. Because sometimes the smallest encouragement creates the biggest transformation.